Hello, in today's video we will go over the picture box control. So we will go ahead and create a new project. And again, it's a Visual C# project and it's a Windows Forms application. We will call this project Shopping Cart. For this particular application, what we're trying to do is to create a shopping cart for customers to purchase products, and eventually this would be an application. So this would allow customers to purchase items online. And for this project, we will select items that are related to organic food. So we will go ahead and call our form So we will go ahead and drag and drop our picture box. And again, remember that the controls in Visual Studio are listed in alphabetical order here in the toolbox. So we will go ahead and change the image. And to do so, we go to the Properties window and we make sure that we are looking at our control. So this is picture box 1. And we go to the image property. And what we're trying to do is to add in a new picture. And this picture is actually stored on my machine, locally on the machine. So we will import the image locally from Let's save and start. See here that we only can see white, so there's something wrong with my image. Let's go back. And you might have guessed that my image is probably too big. And to fix that, what I do is I go to a size mode. So right above my image, right here on the top corner, top right hand corner, there is a triangle. If I click on it, it shows me the size mode. And there are several size modes listed. You can pick the one that shows. And for example, I chose the stretch image, and now I can see that my broccoli image and picture of a broccoli. So I will go ahead and change my broccoli picture box. And remember to always give meaningful names to your. It's a lot easier to recognize your controls in the code. Let's save and start. And right here, perfect. We see that our picture looks a lot better now. So we'll go ahead and add a different or another picture box. First one. And see here that as I'm dragging the picture box control, Visual Studio is showing me a line. And this line is very helpful to align my images. So right now, it would be easier, or it looks easy to just add in an image, and my two images now look aligned. So let me add in the second image. So this now is my picture box 1, because we changed the name of this picture box. So this one is now called Broccoli Picture Box. So this one called Picture Box 1. Let's change the image on this picture box. Import my machine. Same thing with this image. I will change the size mode to say extended on my screen. So this is a milk image. I will go ahead and change the name of my control to say milk picture box. I save. Now let me just move my images a little bit to the center. And another thing that I can do is to check the size of my image box. And if I would like to make those two sizes the same, I could do that. And that would make my overall form look a lot better. So here I just changed the size of the image, and now my two images are exactly of the same size. I start, and there we go. We have both of my images in there. Now what we would like to do is to add in a label, because right now when the user sees these two images on the screen, they don't really know what needs to be done. So we will add in a label right here. This label, we will change the text to say, please select the item to be purchased. Okay, and we can go back and change the font and color and font size and all of that good stuff, like we have done in the previous video. For now, we can just leave the font size and the font type as it is. Let's run it. And there we go. So we have a prompt. So the user now kind of knows what to do. So intuitively, the user will just click on these images. But now, even if those images are clicked, nothing happens. So we need to do something about that. So once we click on these images, what do we expect to happen? Well, one thing that we can do, very simple piece of code to be written, is to create a price label. To do so, we will have actually two labels. One of them would say price, and the other one would contain the actual price. So this label we will call our price label. Actually change the name, not the text of the label. So as far as the text is concerned, I can have it empty. What I really want is to change the name. Let's save. So now we have a prompt, we have two images, and then we have price, and then this price label is now empty. Once the user clicks on the broccoli image, something needs to happen. And what is with the price of the item. So what we would like to do, get of the price label and set it to equal to the price of the broccoli. Let's say $2, for example. And remember that you need a semicolon at the end of every statement that you write within your code, inside your method. So we save and we start. Now, when the user clicks on broccoli, the price label shows $2, which is great. Now let's go back and do the exact same thing for the milk. So if the user clicks on the milk button picture, we still want to use the same price label. We're assigning a value to the text property of the price label. And this time we will select a different price. Let's say $2.50. Let's save and start. Alright, so now when the user clicks on the broccoli, the price shows $2. If the user shows $2, alright, we can play with that. And this is how we create image controls or picture box controls in C#. Another really neat property of the image is the visibility. So like most of other controls, we can play with the visibility feature, the property of the picture box. So let's add in another label here, which would say, for example, people who have purchased these items also bought. And what we are trying to do here is to actually add in a recommendation. And if you're familiar with buying online, for example, from Amazon, you're pretty familiar with this feature. So whenever you select an item to be purchased, Amazon would actually display some additional items as recommendations. And this is what we're going to try to do right here. So we're adding a new picture, and this time we will select the chocolate image. Same thing here, we need to change the size mode of the image. Stretch image looks just fine. And let's change the name of the picture box. Now my picture box says chocolate picture box. Let's save and start. So I click on my prices, these still work, but then I have my recommendations as soon as I load my form, which is not really what I want to happen. So if I go back, see here, before the user selects anything, I have this label and this picture box that are showing up. And this is not really what I want. What I want is for these recommendations to show up after the user selects an item or the other. We can add this to the milk method. So whenever the user selects the milk, what we're going to do is we're going to show that chocolate image as a recommendation. Visible equals to true. Don't forget your semicolon. And if we go back to our form, we also want to change the visibility of this label. So we want these two items not to show up whenever the form loads, but rather whenever the user clicks or selects the milk. If the user selects broccoli, we don't really want to show the chocolate, okay? So let's try and do that. So first, let's change the name of this label. That way it would be easier to find it in the text, in the code. So let's call it rec label. Looks good. We save. We're going back to the code where we select the milk box. So here we want the recommendation label visibility to be set to true. And we have already set the visibility of the picture box to true. So initially we're going to set these to be. So let's go back to our properties. And set the visibility here to false. So initially, when this form loads, we really don't want these two labels to show up. All right, now let's go back and test our code. So see here, our label and chocolate image are not showing up because we set the visibility of those two controls to be set to false as we're loading the form. If we click on the broccoli, nothing happens. We show the price, but no recommendations are shown. However, when we click on the milk box, or we select the milk item, we see the price, but we also see the recommendation. So we see the label and the image. All right. So this is our picture box. We now know how to load a picture box, how to change the size mode for each picture box. We also can change the visibility. We can create a method just like the button or the label or any other control. We can double click on the control and then we can add in some code right here. All right, so I hope this has been helpful and see you in the next video.